Hi, welcome to Box on a Box Rock and Celluloid. I'm Edward Box and I've got a bit of rock for you today. So I'm going to be reviewing the debut album by Elegant Weapons, Horns for a Halo. So this is, I guess, a supergroup formed by Richie Faulkner of Judas Priest fame. So you've got Faulkner on guitar, Ronnie Romero of MSG, Rainbow fame on vocals, Scott Travis, Priest Racer X on drums, and Rex from Pantera on bass. Now, since this has been recorded for live purposes, they're going out with Dave Rimmer on bass, who's an old friend of Richie Faulkner's from Uriah Heep. And I forget the name of the drummer, but he looks great in the videos and he's rocking. Obviously, for some reason, Scott Travis has decided he's just going to do Priest live, and Dave Rex is obviously busy with the sort of Pantera Reformation tribute going on at the moment. I'm not sure actually whether these lot play live just yet. So what's it like? It's heavy. It's got a lot of groove in it. So you can hear Sabbath and bits of groove metal, Pantera, maybe a Black Label, other stuff like that. There's one song where one of the riffs would not go amiss in Priest, but I think Faulkner's like showing another side to himself a bit. Obviously, he doesn't want to, go too Priestish. What I'll say about this is the performances from the 5 principals. I'll come to the 5th one. Are all superb. So Scott Travis, we know after Painkiller and the 90s on the Priest recordings, there wasn't as much for him to do, and then with Firepower he came back all guns blazing, and he's great on here. The drum sounds great, the performance is really good. I think he's kind of relishing some of the different grooves and things like that. The bass is really good, as you'd expect, by Rex. Great at playing those unison lines, you remember with Dimebag, great at sort of laying down that groove metal groove thing, and obviously Dave Rimmer's, if you listen to Uriah Heep, he's exceptional, so we'll have no problem with that. Faulkner is great. He cuts loose a little bit more on the solos here. He's kind of allowing himself a bit more indulgence, as it's his thing. So just really building on what he did with Firepower, lots of cool stuff. And then Romero gives an excellent performance. I'd say this is maybe Ronnie Romero's best performance I've heard. This really works. When he announces as a singer, I've got to confess, it was like, Ronnie Romero, he does a lot of stuff. It's not Ronnie Romero's fault. One of the things in music now in order to earn a living, a singer of his caliber has to go from sort of thing to thing and get paid, I assume, smaller amounts and do a lot of them to earn a living. I would like him to do a whole MSG album, and obviously it's his solo stuff which he's going to want to do, but I feel this MSG and his solo stuff is where he should focus, less so like the Ferryman or Magnus Carlsen, or I think he did Magnus Carlsen, Sunstorm, he's done that. There's that Eurovision Song Contest thing he's done. There's a lot of stuff, but he's excellent on this. It works really well. He's kind of singing with a bit more aggression, and then the classic rock side of his voice, he's working with those sort of bluesy elements. So the 5th contribution is Andy Sneap's production. So Andy Sneap does a mega job on the production mixing on this. He's obviously worked carefully, remotely possibly, with Faulkner on this. So the guitars have that ludicrous bottom end he gets on Firepower and Accept. Excuse me, Hay Fever Season. And it's got that clarity, it's got great bottom end, the kick drum, the snare, vocals. It's just really good. Okay, so let's just go through the tracks. Opens with Dead Man Walking. This is a really good opener, and this kind of sets out the stall of some of the good and maybe slightly samey aspects of the album. So it's got a really nice arpeggiated sort of guitar figure intro. Just looking at my notes. Great soloing as usual. It's 5 minutes 40, and that really is the standard time for the songs on this. I'm just looking across here. There's only 2 songs under 5 minutes. No, three songs under 5 minutes on this album. The rest are over 5 minutes, and one of them's over 7. The album's 53 minutes long. 10-track album. So the songs are on the longer side. I might have preferred it if there was some kind of shorter, punchier things. This is a really good opening. It has a 12/8 meter. There's a lot of kind of slow, medium tempo 12/8 grooves like that. That kind of really swing and they're cool. So a criticism, there's quite a lot of that on the album, but that's, if you're thinking what it's like, imagine Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath, that feel, sometimes at that tempo, sometimes slower. But really good opener, good. Next up's Do or Die, so this was the 2nd single off the album. This is the one that has the most you know, kind of more new wobby riff. It could be sort of Priestish. It's up tempo and it differentiates from that opening groove. Really like this, really melodic, cool solo with some not quite nice tapping in it. Don't really see Faulkner do that in Priest. Maybe a bit of George Lynch's sort of father-in-law influence in there. You know, drums are really good. Romero's great, bass is great. Really good track. Track 3 is the first single, Blind Leading the Blind. So if you heard this track again, it's got that swinging groove again. I really like his kind of slide. It's interesting, this riff. It's quite simple, but it's kind of quite unique. Really good chorus. I think when I first heard this, I was kind of like, oh, I should have had the harmonies on the bridges and then have them go on the chorus. But it's really good. It had a good video. Good lyrics. So some of the lyrics are good on this album. It all works really well. That track's 4:39, so it's one of the shorter tracks. Then you got Ghost of You. So this is the ballad. Again, it's kind of in that bluesy Since I've Been Loving You vibe. What's this Beatles track? Do She's So Heavy, or whatever it's called. I think of Abbey Road. So it's in 12/8. So I'm not as keen on this, but it's good that the album's got this. It kind of comes, you know, it's good to have a track like this. Richie does some sort of cool blues infused licks, but kind of more energised. You can really hear his Schenker influence coming out on this album. A bit of Zach as well, obviously, but there's quite a lot of those cool kind of popped pentatonics, as I call them. Then track 5 is Bitter Pill. Again, this is a kind of slow groover. Really good. Cool track, not massively differentiating from, you know, The Dead Man Walking on the Blind Leading the Blind, but still a strong song. And track 6 is Lights Out. One of my mates, he said, I really like the Lights Out track. He didn't realise it was a UFO cover. So obviously Romero has sung with Schenker, so he will have sung this live. Faulkner, massive Schenker fan. This is a good version. The riff, they play it a bit more staccato. It's not kind of swinging, grooving as much, strangely enough. Richie lets rip with his top Schenker licks. Yeah, I probably prefer her original song, or maybe they could have done a little instrumental, you know, because this album's long. But it's a good cover. UFO fans will think it's decent. If you don't know the UFO song, you'll enjoy it. Like I say, Faulkner does some hauling lead. Track 7 is the title track. This is a new single, Horns for a Halo. This is catchy. 4 minutes 5 is the shortest track on the album. Good chorus. It's proper heavy, sort of Priest riffage. Bit of Alice in Chains on this. The Horns for a Halo, you know, the harmony on the chorus. It's a little more 90s infused. And the kind of the feel of the track. So I'm trying to think of the Alice in Chains track it reminds me of, but you know, that's no bad thing. That's good. Then you got Dirty Pig, track 8. How this is, this has got some. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. Heavy groove metal. Yeah, so the solo on this has got a little bit of the Traitor's Gate. If you know that track of Priest, he does that cool kind of diminished arpeggio-y flatty 5 thing in it. It's good. It's again a really good track. Again, it's in that sort of feel thing again that we're talking about on the album, but it's still really good and I like it. Track 9 is the album's epic. So this is White Horse. I'm not sure what the lyrics are about on this. Might be about Native Americans. Not sure. Again, I do like this band kind of stretch out on this a bit more. It's got a cool kind of breakdown in the middle section. Bit of a Thin Lizzy style harmony. Great end vocal on this. His last note's really good, and it's in 12/8 time. I think it is. I mean, I don't mean 6/8. And then the last track is Downfall Rise, and this is actually might be the album's best track. Actually, this is proper good riffing on this. This is where Sneap's production comes to the fore. So it's got a down, you know, a chuggy riff. I'm just looking at my notes again. Some cool KK style whammies on the solo on this. But I really like it. It's really catchy. So it's a good record. I will confess, sort of listening to it, the amount of times I have, some elements of it I do find a little samey. like I said, particularly this time signature groove sort of issue, which is a good, cool thing, but you know, could have done with maybe some more variety, but I probably need to get into it more. But it is impressive. This is one of the, you know, these supergroup things can sort of fall a little flat because everyone's capable of making a really good song, great song, and sometimes they just produce something that sounds good, but it hasn't got any kind of extra quality. It's almost like the chemistry of the exceptionalness of each band member kind of flattens things out. But I don't think that's the case here. I think this should definitely continue. Obviously, Faulkner, Priest isn't going to go on forever, and neither is Uriah Heep and things like Dave Rimmer here. And Ronnie Romero needs to kind of attach himself to more, you know, some clear divisions, I think. With the bands that they're in, you know, possibly winding down or taking things easier depending what happens to members' health and so on, because they're bands with older members. You know, this could be a great thing for festivals, for gigs as well. So I'm going to mark this 8 out of 10. I think it's a really good, strong debut. It's definitely worth checking out. You know, if you love your guitar, if you love your chunky riffing, and really great singing, and just all-round quality product, it is really good. Okay, so remember to share and subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you again. Cheers. Check out Horns for a Halo. Thank you very much.